your business online? Exabytes can help. We're Southeast Asia's leading cloud and digital solution provider with 20 years of solid experience. Today, Exabytes powers its 140,000 worldwide customers, from individuals, small and medium-sized businesses, to government and public-listed companies, with the three most important values in mind: simplify, innovate, and grow. Using the power of technology and its all-in-one solutions, which include web design, website security, cloud backup, digital marketing, business email, and more. Exabytes can guide you along every single step, from zero to success, to ensure you can sit back and watch your business grow.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.
早安，早安，早安！线上的所有的参赛同学们，还有老师们，还有我们所有台大的理事，还有优大的老师，大家早上好。在这里也要跟大家说国庆日快乐啊！今天831是马来西亚的国庆日啊，也知道是大家的假期啊，那也。这里谢谢大家这么早啊，跟我们一起啊来这个参与台大校友会主办的这个城市竞赛啊，全国这台大杯全国中学生的城市竞赛啊，那这个早上啊，那线上有200多位同学跟大家报告一下，我们这一次的比赛啊。每3个人同学们哈，要每3位组成一队来参赛，对不对？总共我们这一次有76个队伍啊，所以数量非常的多啊。那我们也会有一个预赛哦，这个预赛会先让各位同学进行第一次的比赛啊，所以今天也是我们这个预赛的说明会啊，预赛的这个。形式跟大决赛的形式啊，非常的相像，所以希望同学们今天啊，第一件事情要提醒所有线上的同学或者老师们啊，特别留意的是，这个优大的2位老师会来跟各位说明预赛比赛进行的方式啊。那我们会从预赛当中录取啊，或者晋级30强啊，到大决赛啊。那请同学们今天可能花点心思，特别留意啊，也会让同学们可以做这个预赛的 测试啊，所以待会要请同学们特别留意啊。那这是今天早上我们齐聚一堂非常重要的一个事情啊。第二个事情是也请同学们特别留意，我们有一个 WhatsApp 的群组啊，在 WhatsApp 群组里面如果有特别要提醒各位，尤其在比赛前要注意的事情啊，因为这一次我们用的系统可能希望各位有2个 device 可以来用2个 login 来做这个观察跟比赛所以我们会特别在 WhatsApp 的群组里面再给各位做一个提示如果有相关问题都可以在 WhatsApp 群组里面跟我们来互动，好不好？那今天会跟各位来说明整个预赛会如何来进行好，那再一次真的特别谢谢今年参与我们这个比赛的所有老师跟同学们这个比赛由台大校友会马来西亚台大校友会来主办由优大马来西亚拉曼大学联办所以除了这2个单位在主办跟联办以外我们这个活动可以成功是靠所有人的力量当然包括了今天现场所有还有之前参与我们所有工作坊的同学们老师们尤其是校方我们这里要特别谢谢很多学校非常支持这次的活动，也出了非常多的力气那除此之外，这里我要特别谢谢2个赞助单位一个是AutoCount如果有刚刚比较早有进来看我们这个在这个 Zoom 里面的话，都看到一个AutoCount 的影片它是全马最大的accounting software这个 accounting software 其实解决了很多我们重复使用的这种问题在 accounting 上面所以也是大量的善用了程式语言，帮助我们的一个很重要的工具。我们来看一下 AutoCount 的一个影片。好的，再一次特别谢谢 AutoCount 赞助我们这一次的活动除此之外，我们还有一个赞助商这家赞助商叫 Exabyte 他们的创办人在他他自己很年轻的时候，19岁那年就创业了所以是一个非常非常年轻的创业者，而且我觉得19岁在我们人生的这个过程中，像各位线上有一些朋友，今年大概可能也是17、18岁，对不对？其实还处在很多时候很多朋友还处在不稳定的这个年龄的状态他已经创业了19岁那一年那他是马来西亚最大的一个做 hosting 跟数位转型的公司他们除了 hosting 就是让你架设了一个网站或者做了一个网络上面的服务之后，需要丢在云端，对不对？云端其实就是在这个 data center 当中的一个电脑了你需要放在那个地方，他们可以提供你出租的一个服务这家公司最早从 hosting 开始，到后来也有做这个电子商务的平台，也有做物流所以他们业务的层面涵盖的非常广，是可以协助马来西亚 中小企业做数位转型的一个企业哦。我们来看一下这个 Exabyte 的一个影片，好不好？来。
If you want to expand and improve your business online, Exabytes can help. We're Southeast Asia's leading cloud and digital solution provider with 20 years of solid experience. Today, Exabytes powers its 140,000 worldwide customers, from individuals, small and medium-sized businesses, to government and public listed companies, with the three most important values in mind: simplify, innovate, and grow. Using the power of technology and its all-in-one solutions, which include web design, website security, cloud backup, digital marketing, business email, and more. Exabytes can guide you along every single step, from zero to success, to ensure you can sit back and watch your business grow.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.
好的，我们再一次谢谢我们的 Exabyte 这一次赞助我们。在今天，如果各位你们在做测试的时候，或者在做预赛甚至大决赛各位要把你们最后的这个结果都放到网络上面，对不对？做计算这个云端的计算是由 Exabyte 来赞助我们的所以在这里再一次特别谢谢我们的 Exabyte 好。那接着下来，我就要把时间交给我们的优大的2位老师所以再一次提醒各位，今天要特别留意就是我们整个预赛的这个说明参赛的时候大家要注意的事情，包括测试所以我会把时间都留给大家。那另外就是请各位也要留意我们 WhatsApp 群组里面的讯息，因为从今天开始到我们的预赛甚至大决赛如果有任何希望提醒各位需要各位留意的事情，我们都会在 WhatsApp 的群组里面update 给大家，好不好？所以请各位留意那接着下来我们用掌声，各位我们用888好不好？我们用掌声来欢迎我们今天线上的2位老师来跟各位做说明。我们有孙老师跟赖老师所以老师们在线上了吗？哇，我看到同学们很多的888来我们再测试一下。因为线上蛮多同学蛮多人的老师在线上了吗？老师能不能给我一个声音？有孙老师赖老师好，谢谢。那孙老师跟赖老师，我就把时间交给你们2位啦。
OK，
好，谢谢有很多同学们的888了。好，来交给赖老师。
Okay, so a very good morning to everyone and welcome to today's briefing for the preliminary competition. Okay, so for today's, we will actually cover the following 3 topics for the briefing. The first will be the rules and regulations of the preliminary competition. Okay, and we will also cover the preliminary competition answer submission guidelines, where Mr. Sun will show the demo on how to use the system, okay, later. And we will also let you look at some of the sample preliminary competition questions. Okay, let us start with the rules and regulations for the competition first. Okay, so during the preliminary competition, you need to log into the Zoom link that will be provided, and you need to go to this URL here for the competition. Okay, as for the participant of the competition, the participant actually of the preliminary competition will be those students that have passed one of the qualifying tests that were held previously. And you need to form a team of 3 members, where each member can be from the same school or different school. And during the preliminary competition, you need to log into the system after you go to the URL provided above. An account will be created for each team, and the username and password will be sent through email to you. And each member in the team will share the team account. Okay, however, when you log into the system, you need to select different coder for each member, as we need to keep track of the IP address for each participant. The duration for the competition is 1 hour. Okay, and throughout the duration of the competition, all participants need to join the Zoom session with their cameras turned on, but you need to mute your microphone. Okay, in the preliminary competition, you need to solve 15 short questions. Okay, and the programming languages that you can use are C, C++, and Java only. Okay, other languages we will not consider. And during the preliminary competition, every participant needs to prepare one computer with internet access. And the computer must also be equipped with a camera. It can be either a built-in camera or external camera. You also need a browser to access the competition page for retrieving the questions and submitting the codes. Besides that, you also need to pre-install a Zoom meeting platform so you can connect to the virtual competition venue. A stable internet connection is essential, and the recommended internet speed is 4 meg or above. Okay, besides that, you need to have a compiler installed for your program development as well. Some of the recommended compilers are Dev C++, MainW, and Visual Studio Code. Okay, however, if you prefer other compilers, it is also acceptable. Okay, let us now look at the format of the competition. Okay, so there will be 15 questions in the preliminary competition. Each of these questions is allocated a mark in the range of 10 to 20, depending on the difficulty level of the questions. Okay, and participants need to use their browser to link to this link here initially. Okay, the first link here. And then after that, you need to go to this link, which you will be redirected, okay, to this second link here in order to access the question during the competition. Okay, the question, you may solve the question in any order, okay, by any participant from the same team, okay. Thus, the coordination among the team members are required here, okay. The total score of a team is the sum of the marks of correctly answered questions by the team within the competition hour. And also during the competition, the participant can only communicate and discuss with his or her team members only on the questions, but not with other people. Okay. And the judges will compare the codes from different teams in order to detect plagiarism or collusion, okay, to ensure fairness in the competition. And if plagiarism or collusion is found, for example, where you have, exactly the same code from online sources or from another team, okay, then 0 mark will be awarded to the team for that particular question, even if your solution is correct. Okay. Okay, now let's look at the submission procedure and feedback for the competition. So any participant can submit his or her solution to a question for judging whenever your solution is ready. Okay, and all the solution need to be submitted online through this link here. Okay, which is the competition link that you go to previously. Okay, and also please take note that you need to name the submission file, means your program file, right, without any empty spaces. For example, you should name the file as findmax.cpp without any spaces in the name, instead of findmax with a spaces in the middle here. Is not acceptable by the system. Okay, so you need to be careful about this. Okay, the file name. And there will be a timestamp recorded electronically for each of your submission. Okay, and the participant will get an immediate feedback from the system whether your solution that you submitted is correct or wrong after the code has been run and tested by the system. Okay, so you will know whether what you submitted is correct or is not correct. However, the score will not be reviewed throughout the competition because the judges need to check on the similarity of the codes to avoid plagiarism or collusion before releasing the final score. And if any participant have any question during the competition, they can submit the question through the system by clicking the request clarification button. Okay, and the organizer will reply the question through the system promptly. Okay, this will be shown to you in the demo later as well. Okay. Okay. Now we will look at the judging criteria during the competition. Okay, each of your submitted codes, right, it will be run by the system and it will be tested with different test cases, okay, to ensure that the code is not hard-coded, okay, and the code is correct, okay. The solution is considered correct only when the submitted code is able to generate the correct outputs, okay, based on the test cases that we put in the system. Okay, the marks of that correct question will be awarded to the team if no plagiarism or collusion is detected by the judges. Okay, if there are any two members in the same team that answer the same question correctly and they submit the same question, okay, the marks will only be awarded once only. Okay, even you submitted more than one time. Okay, each team will be allowed to resubmit the solution multiple times, and penalty will not be imposed for each incorrect submission in the preliminary competition. However, in the final competition, there will be penalty imposed for incorrect submission. So please take note. But if we found that there is plagiarism or collusion, the marks for the question will totally be forfeited from the same team, even though if your submission is correct, okay? Okay. For the ranking of the participation teams, it will be based on the following two criteria. The higher the score that you get, I mean, for a team, the rank will be higher. Okay. If in the event where if the score of two or more teams are the same, then the team with the smaller last correct submission timestamp will have a higher rank. Okay. And after this preliminary competition, we will shortlist the top 30 teams, okay, for the final competition. Okay. So how do we shortlist these top 30 teams? Okay. First, the top ranking teams will be the candidate for the shortlisting. Okay. However, if the score, for example, for number 2 here, if we have more than 3 teams from the same school, okay, where all the members are from the same school, only the top 3 teams from this school will be shortlisted. Okay. But if a team is mixed with students with 2 or 3 different schools, it will not be counted in the quota of any of the school. Okay. Okay. These are some of the recommended resources for the competition. Okay. The most important is you need to have a good internet connection with speed of 4 meg or above. Okay, to ensure that you have a smooth connection during the competition. And also, you are encouraged to install Visual Studio Code because the download size is small, okay, less than 200 meg. And in order to support the compiler, the PC hardware requirements are recommended as below. You need minimum of 256 gig hard disk with 1.6 gigahertz or processor and also 1 gig of RAM. Okay, and for the operating system, you can use any of this, Windows 7, okay, Windows 8 or Windows 10. And also Linux version is also allowed, Linux Debian or Linux Red Hat. Okay, okay. If let's say in the event where you are unable to install any compilers, what you can do is you can search for online C++ compiler or online Java compiler using a browser, and then you can select the available compilers that you can use. Okay. Okay, this section will be covered by Mr. Sun later when he show you the demo on how to use the system for the competition. Okay, let us go to the sample preliminary question. Let me go to the part here. Okay. So I will continue to this section by showing some of the sample questions for preliminary competition. Let's look at the first one. Okay, so the first sample question is related to finding the largest. Okay, so over here, if given a list of numbers, right, a common question will be which number is the largest, okay, in this list of numbers. Okay, so when you answer the question, right, you need to refer to the input and expected output that will be given in the question. Okay, so this is very important because your output is based on the input, and the test cases also will be built according to the input and output. Okay, so in this input for this sample here, it will be you need to input 3 real numbers in the range of -1000 to 1000, and the output of this program is the largest number among the 3 numbers that you input just now. Okay, this is the version of the question in Chinese. So during the competition, there will be a Chinese version given, okay, for the question. Okay, now, and also for each of the question in the preliminary competition, we will give you 3 test cases, okay, that show the input value to the program. Okay, this is the input value, the first column, and this is the output for this input value here. Okay. However, when you submit the program to the system for checking, right, of course, there will be more test cases that will be used to test your program, other than these 3 that is given to you in the question. Okay. So the table here, as you can see, it will show you the 3 test cases to find the largest value among the 3 numbers entered. Okay. Please take note that your program must follow exactly the output given in the test cases here. For example, you can see from these 3 test cases, in the first test case, the largest value is 623. I mean, for the output, right? Without any decimal places. Okay. But in the second and the third test case, the output have decimal places. Okay. So your program must be able to cater for this output. Okay, means that you need to make sure that when you test your program, this is the output that will be produced by your program, exactly like what is given here in the test cases. Okay. Okay. And this is the sample and input and output values taken from the 3 test cases that we will use in the sample solution for question 1. Okay. So this is the sample solution to find the largest value among the 3 numbers in C++ version. So in this program, first we will create some variables that we need to use. After that, we will ask user to enter the 3 variables, okay, that we will compare to find the largest. Then we will compare perform some comparison here among the 3 variables to find which one is the largest value, and then we will display it. Okay, for example, the first one we compare if A more than B and A more than C, then A is the largest. Okay, if this is not the case, then we go to the second comparison. If B more than A and B more than C, then the output will be B here. Okay, else the output will be C lah. Right. Okay. And this is the version in Java. Okay. Please take note that sometimes you need to do some formatting, okay, when you use different languages. For example, like in Java here, we need to do some formatting for the decimal display for the trailing zero. Okay, as we can see in the example in our test case 1, right, the output has no decimal places. But if you display the value directly here in Java, the decimal place with 0 will be displayed as well. Okay, but our output shouldn't have any decimal place for the test case 1, right? Okay, so what we can do here is we import the library, the decimal format, to remove the trailing 0 behind. Okay, so when we use this decimal format library, we put this hash sign, which means that a digit should be displayed there except for trailing 0. Okay, so after that, after we declare the variable and we input the value for the 3 values, okay, then we compare, right, just like in C++. Okay, so here, if we find that the value does not need decimal places, so we will print this value without any decimal places. Means that like the first test case, if we don't do anything to the formatting, it will print the 0.0 there at the end. But we can use this decimal format library to ask it not to print out. Okay. Else, the system will just print out the decimal place, just like the example in test case 2 and also 3. Okay, this is the continuation of the solution. Okay. For our second sample question 2, it is on Fibonacci numbers. Okay, so the Fibonacci numbers are a sequence of numbers where each number is the sum of the preceding of the 2 preceding terms, starting from 0 and 1. Okay, so according to the formula here for the Fibonacci number, okay, the first Fibonacci number will be 0 and the second one will be 1. Okay, and the subsequent Fibonacci number will be the addition of the previous 2 Fibonacci number for if our n is more than 2. Okay, so here in this question, okay, you need to write a program to where the input is integer n, okay, in the range of 2 to 50, okay, and the output will be the Fibonacci number, the n Fibonacci number, right? Okay, and this is the version of the question in Chinese. Okay, so this is the test cases that we use for the Fibonacci number. Okay, so here based on the input that we put in for the n, then this should be the n Fibonacci number that will come out. Okay, so for this question 2, right, because later during the demo of the system, Mr. Sun will let you try to do this question, okay, and show you the sample solution for this question during the demo session later. Okay, so we will go to the third question. Okay, so the third question is to find the highest common factor. Okay, so the highest common factor is actually the largest number among all the common factor of 2 numbers. For example, the highest common factor for this 24 and 60 is 12, and the highest common factor for 99 and 80 is 1. Okay, so you need to write a program in this third question that will take input of 2 integers x and y, okay, where the range is 1 is less than or equals to x and y must be less than or equals to 10,000. Okay, and your output will be, you need to output the value of the highest common factor for these x and y. Okay, and this is the version of the question in Chinese. Okay. Okay, so this is the test cases, the 3 test cases that we provide for this sample question 3. Okay, so based on these two values that we enter for X and Y, okay, this is the highest common factor that will be generated by the programmer, supposed to be generated by the program. Okay. Okay. So we will use this sample output and input that is based on the test cases to test our sample solution here. And this is our sample solution for this question 3. So as usual, first we need to declare some variable that we need to use. Then we enter the value for x, y. So based on this value, after that, we will iterate, okay, many times to dividing with the common factor, and then until our b is 0. Then after that, the a value that you get after the while loop will be your highest common factor, okay, and then you need to print out, okay, the output. Okay, and this is the sample solution in Java version. Okay, where most of it are similar to the C++ version, except for the input to the program, we need to use different format because it's in different languages. Okay, but the algorithm is similar, it's the same as what we use in the C++ version. Okay, and in our sample question 4, we want to find average or mean for a list of numbers. Okay, the first input to the program is n. Okay, and after you input this n, it will be followed by the number of elements that is supposed in the list. Okay, so this n here, the first number that you enter is actually to indicate how many numbers that you want to enter next for the list of numbers that you want to find the average. And the range for the n value is from 2 to 10. Okay, the output for this program will be the average of these n elements. And this is the sample question in Chinese for this question 4. Okay, and this is the exam, the test cases, the 3 test cases that we use for this question. So as you can see, the input for the input, right, like the first one, the first number that we input is 2. So after this is your n. Okay, so after you input 2, then it will be followed by the enter of 2 numbers for the list of number that you want to find the average. Okay, so the average for these 2 number is 150. Okay, in the second test case, okay, the first number we enter is 5. So after that, it will be followed by the input of the 5 numbers. That should be, I mean, in your list of numbers. And you will calculate the average for these 5 numbers here. The output should be this one. Okay. And the third one, if you enter 10 as the first number, then the following you need to enter 10 numbers. Okay, and then you will calculate the average for these 10 numbers that you enter here. Okay, please also take note of the output format. Okay, you have to produce the output exactly like what is given in the test cases here. Like here, the first one, we don't have any decimal place. Then this one, we have a decimal place. So you have to follow. Okay. Okay. So for this question also, this sample question 4, right? Later during the demo also, Mr. Sun will let you try to do this question, and he will show you the sample solution during the demo sessions later as well. Okay. Okay. Let's go to our last sample questions here. So our last sample question here is related to quadratic equation. So a quadratic equation is an equation that can be rearranged in this standard format. Okay. The value of x that can satisfy this equation are called the solution of the equation. And then this solution is said to be real solution if it is a real number. Okay, so for this question, you need to write a program that take into input 3 real numbers for A, B, and C. Okay, as you can see the ABC in this equation here. Okay, where the range for these 3 new numbers must be in the range of minus 100 to 100. Okay, and the output of the program is the real solution. Okay, of the corresponding quadratic equation, and you need to round it to 2 decimal places. So if the output stated that you need to round to 2 decimal places, so you have to make sure that your output follow this requirement here. Okay, and if there are 2 real solutions for the quadratic equation, okay, you need to output the larger first, and then only you output the smaller. And if there is no real solution, you need to output the message, no real solution. Okay, this is the version of the question in Chinese. Okay, now let's look at the test cases here. So the test cases here, as you can see, okay, for the first one, for every input, you need to enter 3 values for A, B, and C. Okay, so based on these 3 values, then this is your expected output. So like this one, it has a 2 real solution, right? You have to output the highest one first, as indicated by the question here. You have to output the larger first, right? So your output should be like this. So as I have told you previously, you need to be careful when you produce the output for your program. You have to follow exactly like what is shown in the sample output in the test cases. Okay, so here you have to output the larger one, then only the smaller one. If there's only one solution, then you just output this solution rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, as you can see here. And for the third test cases, because there's no real solution, right? We don't need to output any value, but you need to output the message there is no real solution. And please be careful here for the string output, right? Okay, it is case sensitive. So if here we show uppercase N, then you have to put uppercase N. You cannot put lowercase, then the program cannot check. Okay, so it is case sensitive for the string output. Okay, so please take note. Okay, so this is the sample output that we based on the test cases just now that we used to test the program for the quadratic equation. Okay, so this is the sample solution in C++ version. Okay, so as usual, we will declare some variable that we need to use. After that, we will see in or get the input for our value A, B, and C. Okay, then we will check the solution for the equation, whether it's a complex solution, which means where there is no real solution. Okay, over here, we will use this determinant to determine this. Okay, if it's less than 0, then means there's no real solution, and we just output the message no real solution. But if the value of the determinant is equal to 0, there is one solution, so we will use the formula to calculate the solution here and display the output. Okay, else it means if the determinant is more than 0, means we have 2 solutions, right? So remember just now we say you have to, because 1 is plus, 1 is minus, okay, according to the formula. So you need to output the larger one first. Okay, so your answer, you have to put the larger one first. I mean, when you display here, okay, then followed by the smaller one. Okay. And also here, please take note when you write a program, right, during the competition, you can include any necessary header file or libraries that you need in your program, okay, during the preliminary competition. Okay, for example, in this program, right, here you can see we use the headers like CMath because we need to use the function for this power and also the square root. Okay, so if you need, then you can include the header or the library here. And the IO menu is for the set precision that we use for the 2 decimal places in our output. Okay, so you can include. This is the sample solution in Java version. It is similar to the C++ version, more or less. Okay, the algorithm is the same, just that for the output we use, instead of cout, we use system.out.print, and also the power function we have to put like this. Okay, and also the square root for Java version. Okay. Okay. So I think I have reached the end of my presentation for my parts. Okay, thank you for listening. OK，
各位同学有问题吗？请问刚刚赖老师已经 present 了这个关于这个预赛的一些规则，还有一些就是一些范例。请问各位同学有没有问题？
有问题。
OK， 请问。
Hello。
请问。
那个 output 好像开那题是有题是找 average 那种就是假如我output 多一点decimal places， 它会算我错的吗？
你要根据那个规定，假如我们有指定说有多少个 decimal places， 你就要指定，比如说是2位小数点后2位数，你就一定要小数点2位数。假如没有指定的话呢，你就不需要用就是任何的东西，你不需要去处理任何的，你让那个 equation 等式自己跑出来那个答案就可以了，就是你不需要多去处理。假如我们有说要做近似至哪一个小数点后几位的话，你需要严格遵守。要是没有的话呢，就是它跑出什么答案就是什么答案，你不需要特别处理。
所以我特别处理的话，它就会算为错啦。
对对。
OK， 谢谢。
我这里也有一个问题。
请问。
请问如果好像我们一个队有3个人，如果刚好我跟他同一时写这个 code， 然后我们同时提交，可是他的答错，我的答对，这样那个分数是怎么计算的呢？
我们算答对的。
好的。
答错的，你答错多少次都没有关系，但是只要答对1次就算答对。但是要是2个人都答对的话，你不能够重复得分，只有1个人可以得分。
OK， 好的，谢谢你。
请问还有任何的问题吗？在我们进到下一个单元之前。
我有一个问题
好，请问。
就是刚刚那些题目有很多好像指定 input， 然后 n 大于2小于10之类的。然后如果给的 input 在范围外，有指定要怎样处理吗？
这个是很好的问题，就是当题目有叫你要去验证 input 的时候，你就必须验证。要是题目没有叫你去验证那个 input 的话呢，你就不需要验证。就是说我们 test case 我们不会故意说你不去验证就算你错。我们 test case 就是我们的 test cases 或者是 example， 我们会根据我们题目的要求去做 testing。就是说题目假如说比如说你的题目可能要开根，就是你可能那个答案是需要开根号的，但是开根号之前呢，你要验证那个到底是不是一个正数或者是负数。 假如题目有需要你这样做的话，题目会说明。只要没有说明的话，你就不用去看那个 input， 就是不需要去验证那个 input 到底是不是在那个范围。
OK， 可是如果要验证的话，然后那个 input 又在那个验证的范围外的话，这样子
我们一定会告诉你说，要是那个 input 是不在这个范围的话，你要输出，你要 output 什么 message， 也会非常清楚的告诉你。比如说假设我说你有一个开根号在里面，但是你要验证那个数字到底是不是一个复数。要是复数的话，我们会在题目说明；要是它是一个复数的话，你必须要打出可能就比如 no feasible solution， 就是一个像那个 no real solution 一样，就是我们会很清楚的告诉你，要是你需要验证的话，验证出来，要是它是不适合的一个 input 的话，你要说些什么？那个会非常清楚的在题目里面显示。
OK， 那好，明白，谢谢。
院长，我们在 chat 里面有一个问题，你可以看得到吗？
使用C++ 台大杯 Judgment System 支持我们使用，这个我要请我的那个技术团队来回答一下。
OK，
就是Dr. 戴或者是 Miss Lai， 这个我们支持就是学生使用这个 STBC++.h 吗？
如果是只要是 C++ 的话，应该会支持的。可是我们那个基本上的问题应该都不会太难啊，所以
对所以我们不会，就是基本上是一些中学程度的数学问题就可以解的问题啊，就不会说有特别难的东西了，就是就比如说开根号，或者是平方、3次方、4次方、5次方。类似这样的问题啦，我会觉得是基本的那个 CMath 的里面应该是足够的。不过应该也没有关系了，就是反正你加进去的话，应该也没有太大的关系了，反正可能我们不会用到。
老师，我有一个问题，刚刚你们有提到说可以 include 一些别的 import 别的 file 进来嘛，就是给我们打代码更容易嘛。那如果我在 compile 那个 file 给你们的时候，我没有跟你讲我是从就是我这些 code 啊是从哪一个 file import 进来的嘞？
所以你要很小心，就是你其实越简单的那个是越好。你要是 import 进来 import， 你用很复杂的那种 import 的方法的话，我们的那个 judgment 没有办法，就是我们的系统没有办法处理的话，还是会当成错的。
OK， 所以如果真的要这样做的话，就要跟你讲清楚我们 import 的是到底哪一个 file 啦。
我们也没有办法去每一个学生的 test， 所以只是简单的 code 交上来，然后我们就跑那个 code， 最好是不需要其他的那个其他的 code 来支援，就是你不需 import， 我觉得最好你不要用 import 或者是out 就 export 这些。
好的。
最好不要，因为我们没有办法保证，真的。
OK， 谢谢你。
OK， 请问 import 是自己不是，就是你可以自己验证。我们的 example 呢，其实是这样子，就是我们的 example 给你的话呢，就是让你在写了这个 code 之后，你自己去验证。在你提交之前，你可以自己验证。你验证了之后，对了之后，你提交上来。但是我们的 test case 会有除了这3个 example 再给你的话，我们还有更多的 test case。也就是说，你们不能够 hard code。要是你们 hard code 的话，就是说你们看到原来这个 example 里面是这样的 input 就这样的 output， 然后你就 hard code 它。但是我们在 back end 的时候，我们 test 的 test case 是不止那个 example 给你们，有一些是你们不知道，但是我们会去 test 到底就是我们会去验证到底你们的码对不对。所以那些 input 是不是自己的你不需要你只要交上那个码，你有一个就是读那个 input 的那个指令。当我们 compile 了那个码之后呢，代码之后呢，我们就会自动的去给予一些 input， 然后去验证那个 output 是不是正确的。假如你们的码可以通过所有的 test cases， 那就表示这个码是对的，可以吗？请问还有什么问题吗？
罗德六在 chat 那边有2个问题。
台大杯是用什么 compiler？我们就是用 C++ 跟那个 Java， 我们 compiler 的那个 information 就是那个资讯，我们应该是有放在那个 slide 上面的。基本上就是一般，因为我们不会用到太复杂的东西，所以一般的都不会有太大的问题了。就是我们不会用太复杂的 library， 就是一些通用的一些 library， 像那个 CMath 或者是就是一些通用的东西，没有特别的。那个 input 的我刚刚已经回答了，就是 input 不是自己放进去的，而是你可以根据那个 example 来去验证你的码，在你提交之前，你可以先去验证。然后在预赛的时候，我们错的答案是没有扣分了，但是在决赛，要是你们进到决赛的话，错的答案是扣分的，所以你们真的是要很小心验证。会的，你们提交了之后呢，我们去验证了之后，我们会告诉你哦，你们的码是那个代码是对的还是错的，我们会告诉你们。但是呢，我们不会告诉你们的分数，是因为我们在后面呢，我们之后还要检验那个你们到底有没有互相抄袭。所以我们只会告诉你这个代码是对的，但是有没有得分，我们必须要在检验之后呢，可能过几天我们因为队伍太多，所以我们过几天才能够告诉你们到底有没有被录取进入决赛。所以是的，你假如是交上了代码之后呢，系统会告诉我们在通过了所有的 test case 的时候，系统会告诉你到底你对了还是错了。比赛可以带小抄吗？我们会你当然可以，因为这是一个 open book 的，你可以找任何的 reference， 只要你不是照抄。就是你比如说你有一些东西你看不懂，你想知道，你有些东西忘了，你是可以用你的电脑去找的。这是算是一个 open book， 就是算是一个 open book 的那个比赛。所以所谓小抄的话，你可以尽量带，没有问题。但是我们也会尽量确保说你的小抄不会太有用。OK， 小数点后几位数，我们会当我们说那个近似或者是做 rounding 的时候是45路，是利用45路的方式。
Dr. Dan，那个有同学问台大杯使用的是哪一个版本的 JDK？
这个问题哦，就其实你用哪一个版本都无所谓啊，反正你只要确定你能拿到那个答案就对了。
OK，Thank you。
就是显示出来的那个test case 给你们就可以了。那你就要用那个表性哦。反正你就确定你的那个 compiler 跟就是你拿到那个答案就是跟那个output 是一样的。
我们的系统会其实这几天会开放啦，就是你们会根据我们做的我们这些那个 sample questions， 我们给你一些范例，你们可以根据那个范例，你可以尝试用你的那个任何的 compiler 或者任何的那个development kit 去写了之后你再交上来，要是系统可以接受的话，就表示没有问题。
其实你们在答题的时候啊，你 也是可以留意一下，就是那个给的那些 test cases，基本上你们也是可以观察一下，就那些 test cases，他们到底就是需要一个什么样的 output，然后根据那个，然后你再去就是去显示的那个答案。
OK， 第4题是什么了？我都忘了，看看第4题是什么。第4题是，看看第4题。
是那个 average，Dr. Liu。
哦 ，average。
嗯。
average 我们这边有说明，它是input a positive integers， 它是 input a series of positive， 就是全部都是正整数。但是当然就是说，我们这边没有叫你验证啦，就是你可以验证或者不验证都没有关系，因为 test case 里面，假如我们说是全部都是正整数的话，又没有要求你验证的话，所有 test cases 都会符合这个要求。所以所谓的 example 或者 test cases， 他们其实是限制我们来 test 你们那个范围，除非我们要求你验证，其实你是不需要验证的。所以假如那个数据允许弹性输入的话，你可以，你假如不要 declare 一个 integer 的话，你可以 declare 其他，只要它能够接受 positive integer 就可以了。可以吗？另外比赛的时候可不可以用音频通讯软件和组员通讯？可以的，你可以用任何的方式，甚至你们可以约好，假如你们可以互相的到对方的家去了，但是我不是鼓励你们这样做，因为现在情况也是蛮严重，就是我们没有限制你们跟组员要怎么沟通，我们没有限制你们，但是呢，你们只可以跟自己的组员沟通，你们不能够跟其他人，包括老师或者其他队的队员沟通，因为到最后我们其实也是会检验你们的那个 code 的，就是其实以1个小时15题的话，其实我相信你们其实也没有太多时间去跟别人沟通，但是你们不用担心，就是我们不是要你们做完，而是说你们尽量做，你能做多少就做多少。最后还是比那个相对的分数。在比赛的时候可以用手机来进入比赛的 Zoom 吗？应该是可以吧，主办单位应该是可以吧，就是只要你有那个显示你的头像，因为我们要看到你的人，然后比对你的你的那个照片。
对我这里补充一下，就是我们会需要有一个镜头对着你，看得到你的脸跟你的荧幕这个角度，所以的话就这样子就 OK 了。
那个 IDE 的话呢，其实我们没有管你用什么 IDE，只要你能拿到那个答案，然后可以 submit， 这样就 OK 了。大家还有什么问题吗？如果没有问题了，那就可以请 Mr. 孙demo 那个 system 给大家看。镜头要看到 monitor。
是否他们的镜头要看到他们的那个荧幕吗 ？monitor？
不用了，就是我们会再详细公布，但是一定需要看到人这样子，看到你的至少半身这样，脸部这样。
OK 我想我们先进入下一个环节了，因为下一个环节过后，我相信你们还是有很多问题的，所以我们先进到下一个环节然后请 Mr. 孙来demo。 demo 示范那个系统，好吗 ？OK， 是 ，Thank you。
谢谢 W。OK，大家早上好。OK，Good morning to everyone。So 现在我们来看一下我们要怎样去用那个系统。OK。OK，大家可以听到我的声音啊，有没有问题？假如有问题的话，你们可以开麦跟我讲。OK，谢谢你们。OK， 这个就是我们的preliminary competition answer submission guidelines。OK， 你们要先 browse 这个 link 啊，这个 link。OK，so you can see this link here, https://ntucal2021.utah.edu.my:8081.
Sorry, they can access it now, right?
Yeah, they can access it.
OK， 你们要是现在有电脑在这边，你们现在其实也可以进入到这个连接。
I will let them access it later.
OK，Thank you, sorry.
Thank you. OK，so 等一下我们会做一个，你们可以做一个 hands on， 我会给你们那个login ID 跟 password， 所以你们可以 login。OK，so 你就会 login 用这个 username 跟 password， 来 login 进去这个 URL。so 在这个 URL 里面呢，你看这边有一个 drop down list， 它会写有3个 coder，coder 1、coder 2、coder 3。所以你必须因为你们的 team 是有3个人一个 team， 所以你们要先跟你们的 team member 讲好 ，OK， 谁要拿 coder 1， 谁要拿 coder 2， then 谁要拿 coder 3。OK， 你不可以有2个人同一个时间拿同一样的 coder， 不是的话只是一个人可以进得了。OK， 所以你们分好来，你们3个人，谁是 coder 1， 谁是 coder 2。And who is coder 3? Then 你们就 enter your username and also the password， 然后你们就 click 这个 submit button。那做什么？我们需要你们先进入这个 link 先，就是因为我们要 capture 你们电脑的 IP address。OK， 我们要 capture 你们的 IP address， 就是我们要确保只是有在哪一个时间。在你们的 team 里面，只是有3个不同的 IP address 可以进来我们的这个系统里面 ，competition 的系统。所以你看这边有3个 coder， 所以我们就会 capture 你们这个3个 coder 的 IP address。OK， 所以其他的 IP address， 假如他们进来，我们就会把它马上的踢出去，所以他们就不可以进入这个 competition 的系统。OK， 所以你们对这个 submit 了，我们就 capture 你们的 IP address， 然后你们就可以进入这个 competition 的系统，这个 link https://ntucal2021.utah.edu.my。OK， 它会跟你写明 OK 你的 IP address 是这个，然后你可以 click 这个 link 来进入我们的 competition 系统。那你一进来我们的 competition 系统了，你就会看到这个main page，OK， 这个 main page， 然后你可以看到这个 login button，OK， 这个 login button 然后你还需要再 click 这个 login button 再一次 ，OK， 所以这个是第2次的 login， 就是给你们 login 进来我们的 competition 的系统 ，OK， 所以 click 这个 login button。那你一 click 了这个 login button， 它就会叫你再sign in 跟 put in 你的 username and also 你的 password， 所以同样的你就会放进去你同样的 username 跟同样的 password， 刚才你所用的 OK username 跟 password， 然后你就 click sign in， OK， 你一 click sign in 了，你就会进来我们的这个我们的 competition 系统，所以你可以看到这边有一个 problem set， OK。 说假如你 click 这个 problem set， 你就可以看到我们所有的 competition problems。All the competition problems, okay? You can view when you click on this problem set, okay? Okay, so 你们就会用你们的 Visual Studio Code, okay 来做你们的 programming， 拿到 OK 做好了你的 programming， 我们只是需要你 submit， OK， 所以你就可以你看到这边有一个 submit button， 所以你对这个 submit button， 你只需要 submit 上来你的，假如你是写 C++， 你就 submit 上来你的 .cpp 的 file，.cpp。假如你是用 Java 来写，你就 submit 上来你的 .java file， 你的 extension .java，OK？ 其他的 extension 我们就不接受，因为我们只是接受 C、C++ 或者 Java，OK？ 你就 submit 上来你的 source code，OK？ 你的 C 的 source code 或者 C++ source code 或者你的 Java source code。那你一 submit 上来这边，你就可以看到你的 submission 啊，你的 submission。OK， 等一下我们会用这个系统，你们也是可以用来 test 这个系统。OK，then 这边有一个 clarification， 假如你有什么问题要我们答你，有什么比如说 OK 这什么我不能统包的这个东西我 click 了没有反应或者什么你可以写你的 message 在这边clarification 然后你可以 click 这个 button request clarification， 然后你一 click 了这个 request clarification， 我们有一般的 jury，OK， 所以那个 jury 全部就可以看到你们的 message，OK， 你们的问题 ，OK， 所以 jury 就会去答你们的问题，一答了你们的问题，你们就可以看到我们的答案在这边，那个 jury 的答案在这边 ，OK。等一下你们也是可以是用看你们这个 clarification 跟跟这个 clarification request 的functionality， OK， 等一下你们可以 test 看。那说刚才Miss Lai 所讲，你可以看到我们的 questions 是吗 ？OK， 在这边 OK，so problem set 有 questions， 然后你这边你可以看到这个有 color，OK， 有不一样的 coloring。这个 coloring 是代表什么呢？是代表那个难度啦不一样的 color 它就代表不一样的难度。然后你可以看到它的分数在这边，也是可以看到它的分数for 那个 question 有几分，你可以达到几分。比如说这个 question quadratic equation， 假如你答对的话，你就可以得到20分。OK， 或者假如你答这个Fibonacci numbers， 你答对的话，你就可以得到10分。OK， 所以你可以看到那个分数给那个题目的分数在这边。All right。OK， 所以这个就是那个刚才你 click 那个 problem set 记得吗？刚才我所讲的 problem set， 你 click 那个 problem set， 你可以看到那边有很多题目，所以你选那个题目，你 click 了，你可以 view， 它就可以给你看 ，OK， 你的题目，说你的题目是好像这样子的 ，OK， 你的 question，OK， 在英文，你的 question 在华语，然后你有这个 test cases， 你也可以看到那个所需要的 test cases，OK， 所以那个 input 跟 output。所以刚才Miss Lai 已经所讲的你这个 output 很重要就是这个就是那个系统 expected 的 output， 所以你要很小心，你不要去给他你的 program 会发出 additional 其他的 output that is not inside the test cases， 这样你的 program 就会 fail 了。OK， 等一下我们会 show 给你看。Alright， so 这个就是你 click 这个 submit button， 你 click submit button 的话，你就可以看到这个 stream， 然后这个 source file，OK， 所以你就可以 submit 上来你的 source code。OK， 假如你是写 C++ 的 program， 你的 source code 是 with extension .cpp。OK， 所以你就 browse from 你的 PC，so browse from 你的 source file 来upload 上来。OK。So then 你选你的 problem set， 说这个 file 是 from 哪一个 problem， 比如说是 for 这个find maximum problem，OK？ Then after that， 假如是 Java 的话 ，then 你就选了你的 problem set， 然后你要去选你的 language， 你看这边下面这边有一个 language， 所以假如你的 program 是 CPP， 你一定要选对的啊 CPP language。所以你要确定啊，你要确保你这个 problem 跟你这个 language 你是选对的 ，OK， 来 target for 你的这个 source file。假如你是写 CPP， 但是你去选Java， then 就错了，等一下你 submit 上来你就不能拿到他就给你 OK wrong answer，OK。但是那个系统也是 smart enough 啦，也是很聪明一下。假如你的 file name 跟这个的，你看它的 problem 的problem 的 description 是一样的，它会 automatically 选给你的。也是它会看你的这个 extension， 假如你的 extension 是 .cpp 啊，它就会自动的选给你 C++。但是你自己也是要去确定啦，自己也是要看过确定的它是对。假如你的 file name 跟它的 problem description 是不一样的话，then 你就要自己去选择这个 problem 了，是给哪一个 target 去哪一个 problem， 所以 OK。所以你一submit上来，你就可以看到你的 question 出现在这边 ，OK， 那你看到这边它是说 OK result 在OK 什么 result，whether 是在 pending pending 就是那个 judge 还没有去 compile 你的 program， 或者after compiling 了，那个 judge 已经process 了你的 program compile 了没有问题，pass all the test cases，then 他就会给你一个 correct，OK。假如有什么问题的话 ，error in compilation 或者 syntax error， 你也可以看到这个 message 这边，你可以 click on 这个 message，then 你可以看到它的解释，或者是 syntax error 在哪一个 line， 或者有什么 problem， 有什么问题出现。OK，so 你看 here 这边examples，OK，no output 或者 wrong answers 或者是 correct submission。So correct 的话，你就可以得到那个分数了。OK， 假如你们可以再 resubmit 几次，比如说你 submit 一次了，你看到的答案是 no output， 你可以再 submit 多一次。OK， 你可以去你的 Visual Studio Code 那边再做好它，再 resubmit 进来你们的 source code， 我们那个 judge 会再 compile 多一次。现在又在错，他讲 wrong answer， 不用紧，你可以再 try 看，在你的 Visual Studio Code 再做好了，再 submit 多一次进来，你们的 source code。你们可以一直这样 resubmit，OK 是没问题的 ，OK， 到你一直到你拿到那个对的答案为止 ，OK， correct。所以刚才我所讲，假如你有问题要所问的话呢，then 这边就可以给你做一个 request for clarification，OK，request for clarification。So click 在这个 button request clarification 的 button，then 你就可以进来，可以看到这个我们的 jury 我们的 jury 就会答你的问题 ，OK。比如说 OK，I've done all questions，can I leave？then 你 click 这个 send button，OK，then 你 click OK。then 我们的 jury 就会答你的问题，比如说我们 jury 想 OK 我们就会看到你的题目，然后我们就会答你 ，OK， 答你的问题，讲 OK，yes，thanks for your time，then 你就可以看到我们的 jury 的 reply。sorry 不小心跳到。OK， 所以现在在这个就是你的那个 main page 那边，就是刚才我们我已经所讲过的所有的东西在这边 ，how you all can interact with our competition platform。说假如你做完了，你可以看你的 timing 在这边competition timing 不要超过。虽然刚才我讲你可以一直 submit， 但是你也是要 make sure 确保你们没有超过这个给你们的 timing，OK，competition time，OK。因为你要看你们这个是你们的 strategy 了，你要答哪一个，你要选哪一种的题目来答，或者你要选容易的题目先来答，或者你要选那个很难的题目来答，说你可以拿到更加高分 这个就是看你们的 strategy，how you all manage the questions and how you all manage your team members, okay, to answer the questions. OK， 所以现在我们就可以去 try 一下那个系统 ，OK 等一下先啊，我关掉这个先。那我先给你们看那个你们的 username 跟 password，OK， 所以你们等一下你们可以进来log in 进来我们的系统来 test。OK， 那你看这边假如你看你们的 team，OK， 你们的 team 是什么？then 你看你们的名是什么 ？then 你们就可以看到你们的 login name，OK，login name 对，所以你们只是要看这个 login name 先，你们把这个你们自己的 login name 先抄录下来，记录下来。maybe 在你的纸张或者用 notepad， 你跟他先记录下来先。等一下我会给你们看那个 password password 是全部人是一样的 password。please take note please take note。这个 login name 跟 password 是否今天的 testing 的罢了。在当天 competition 的 preliminary round competition， 我们会发录出来那个 email 给你们的 actual username and password。OK。So for 这个是 for 今天的罢了。OK，it's not for the real competition. Please take note. This username and password given out to you all today is just for today's practice. OK，it's not for the real competition. Thank you very much. OK， 我会 scroll down， 我会慢慢的 scroll down。你看你的名，然后假如你的名有在里面的话，对的话，你就跟他记录下来你的 login name。OK。OK， 只是记录下来这个 login name 那个，比如说是，假如你是 Lucas Loan Pang，
哪里？Tourist 在你。
那你的 login name 就是 team-101。OK， 我这边
那些就名字哎呀可以那个 Isaac BJ 是什么？
没有这个你这个是你的 team name 这个是你的 team name，team name 你的 team 的名字
他们的 team name 像啥
比如说你的 team 是DSL Domain Specific Language， 所以你看这个 team 有3个 member， 是3个人 ，OK，Lucas Lompang，
你直接在中讲话打去
Zero Result，OK，so then 你们的那个 for Lucas Pang 的 username Daniel Low 的 username，
我没有看到
Zero Result 的，
看全部人叫你关麦。
OK 我先 scroll down， 刚才你看到那里OK， 看到这边Chaos 3OK， 我 scroll 到 Chaos 3给你们看。OK， 所以从 Chaos 3这边开始， so Chaos 3有3个 team member，ZU 王彦兴跟范明浩ZU 你的 username 是 team-134， 王彦浩你的 username 是 team-135， 范明浩你的 username 是 team-136。说其他的学生们同样的，你们记录下来你们自己的 username，OK？ 所以我就在这个 speech 边给你们看一下，然后我就会 scroll down 了。
孙老师，我们的我已经寄到各位晋级的 WhatsApp 群组了，
已经寄去了说他们全部有了。
然后也寄一份给老师了。所以如果你没有收到，那可能你还没有 join 我们的那个晋级的群组，我会 post 在 chat 的 group。
是他们的主名也是有点手嗨这样的，所以我们也是可以手嗨这样。
OK， 不用紧 ，OK， 我也是这样子 scroll 下来给你们看一次，大概你们可以 glance through 了OK， 就到这边罢了没有了 ，All right， 可以了OK， 现在我们再接下来看 OK， 说刚才你们所要进去的，OK， 你就进来这个系统 ，OK， 你们大家可以试看来进入这个系统NTU Cup 2021.utah.edu.my:1821。
Hello，老师，不好意思。你可以再重新那个 PDF 再 scroll 到多一次吗？太快了。
那个，对不起
，sorry，
那个file 已经放到那个 WhatsApp group 里面了，你们可以去 WhatsApp group 那边查。
OK， 你们要选你们的 coder，OK， 哪个 coder？OK 放进去你们的 username 跟你们的 password，OK。它就会 capture 你的 IP address，capture 了你的 IP address， 那你就可以 click 这个 link 就进入我们的 competition 的系统。OK， 在这边的话，你看你这边有一个 login button， 这个是给你们 login 进来我们的 competition 系统。你可以看到在这个 main page 那个所有的 team。OK，login。你 login 进来，放回同样的 username 跟 password。OK， 假如你是 team member 的话，你所看到的screen 就是这样子的 screen。OK， 好像刚才我所给你看到的。你可以看到你的 problem set。OK， 你 click 这个 problem set， 你就可以看到你所有的题目。OK， 你要确定你选对的 competition。今天我们的 competition 是 NTU-Demo 01。OK，NTU-Demo。
老师，抱歉打扰一下，我们还没有看到 password， 对不起。
还没看到 password 你知道你的 password 了没有 ？username 跟 password， 刚才我给你看那个 PDF
刚刚老师给了，谢谢，没事谢谢。
OK， 我在这边，我等你们进来一下了进入进来。你们可以OK， 假如你们全部人已经进入进来了这个系统，你们可以拿起你的手吗？给我看一下 ，so I can get the status I can see your status. Can you all do that? Can you all raise your hand? Okay, I'll wait. Okay, so just raise your hand when you have managed to log in. Okay, to this portal. Okay, very good. So I saw a few names here already raised your hand. 同学们，你们怎样 ？OK 吗？可以吗？我看到还有很多同学还没有进入我们的系统啊，你要 raise hand. So can you all quickly log in and raise your hand? Then I will proceed.
We are unable to connect to your Utah link.
Which Utah link that you are not able to connect? Can you all put in the chat box the message, your question?
Yeah, we posted our question in the chat box.
有什么 error message 吗？假如你们不能进去的话。
他就讲 this site cannot be reached.
OK， 你可以 try 用其他的 coder 吗？你转看，你跟你的 team member 商量好 ，try different coder try 看。OK，close 掉你的 web browser， 再 try 多一次 with a different coder。
Oh,
你的team， 你的 make sure that 你确保你的 team member 一个一个进啊，不要3个人一起啊 ，try 看怎样先。其他的同学们有问题吗？我看到还有很多同学还没有进入我们的系统。OK， 有什么问题，你们可以放去你的那个 chat box， 或者你可以 on 你的麦来通知我们一下。没有那个 username 啊，刚才你要看那个 PDF file。OK，you have to look at the PDF file。OK，what is the username？ the password. Yeah, the password already given to you, all right? So 其他学生怎样？可以吗？可以进入吗？ Okay, can you quickly log in to the system? Any problems? For those 同学们，假如你们已经 log in 进来了，你们可以看看那个我们的 question 先来，我给你们看看我们的 question 先。那你在这边是吗 ？OK， 你在这边，你可以看到这个 demo， 你 click 这个 link， 你选那个今天的 demo， 我们今天所用的 demo 是这个NTU-Demo 01 ，NTU-Demo 01啊。所以你 click 这个 ，OK， 你就可以看到来这个 problem set 这边。你 click 这个 problem set， 你就可以看到所有的 problem。OK， 所以刚才Miss Lai 已经解释了几个 problem 给你们看。所以现在我等一下我会 show 给你们第一个 problem 怎样做，然后我们有2个题目给你们自己去 try。OK， 我忘记了是哪一个题目，给我看先啊。给我看那个 slide 先哪一个题目。OK， 所以等一下。OK， 等一下我会 demo 这个啊，我会 demo 这个，就是从那个 Visual Studio Code 那边写那个 program， 然后 submit 上去那个系统。OK， 我会 demo 给你们看 question 1。OK， 然后呢，然后呢，你们就会 try question 2跟 question 4，就是这 Fibonacci numbers 这个 question。OK， 等一下你们自己 try 看这个 question。OK， 然后还有一个就是 question 4啊。question 4就是这个 average mean。OK， 所以你们 try 看这2个。OK， so
sorry， 是 question 2 and question 4。
对 ，question 2 and question 4，我再给你看啊，这个 slide 啊。So question 2， 你们等一下你们要自己 try 的，就是这个 question 2， 就是这个 Fibonacci numbers。OK， 然后another one will be question 4， 就是这个 average。但是 after 你们 try 了，我也会给你们看那个答案，我也是会解释一次给你们听。OK， 所以不用担心啊。你们先 try 先 ，OK， 你们先 try 先。so 假如你们已经进来我们的系统了，你们可以先看那个题目先，去这个 problem set， 你看这个题目 Fibonacci problem。OK， Fibonacci problem。你看读它的 questions， 然后你看它的这个 test cases。OK， 所以要特别的小心，就是你们的 input， 假如你的 input 是 10， 它会给你 55 output。假如你放的 input 是 20， 它的 output 就会 6765。假如你的 input 是 50， 它的 input 就是这个。OK，question 4就是那个刚才我所讲的是什么的？哪一个 question 啊 ？Sorry。Question 4是这个 average。OK，question 4是 average。So 这个 find mean 啊 ，find mean。所以你们的 file name， 假如你们的 file name， 比如说你们写 C++ 的 program， 所以你看这个 problem 是 Fibonacci， 对不对？最好你们的 file name 你们也写 Fibonacci.cpp。OK， 假如你们是做这个find mean 的 problem， 你看它的 problem 是 find mean， 你们的 file name 你们就给它 find mean.cpp。假如你们是写 Java， 你们就写 find mean.java。这样子的话呢，它那个刚才我给你看到这个啊，你们什么的时候，这个 problem 它就会自己 automatically 选对的给你。OK， 假如你是做 Fibonacci， 它就会选 Fibonacci 给你。假如你是你的说是 find mean， 它就会 automatically select find mean 给你啊。所以假如你的 file name extension.cpp， 它这个就会 automatically 选 cpp。
然后对下人话呀。
但是你们也是要自己的确保它是对的。假如不对的话，你们自己要去选过对的。但是假如你们的 file name， 假如你做 Fibonacci problem， 你的 file name 你讲 abc.cpp， 所以这个就不会选，它不会 automatically 选给你。OK， 你就要自己的选 Fibonacci find Fibonacci numbers， 明白吗 ？OK， 所以还有人还没有进入我们的系统啊。说怎样我们可以 continue 吗，学生们？OK， 我在等给你们进入我们的系统。OK， 请举手。OK，please raise your hand. Do not put your hand down. Just keep your hand up. Don't put it down. Once you have come into our system, just leave your hand up so that I can know your status. Okay, do not put down your hand until I ask you to do so. All right. So those who have come into our system, please raise your hand and keep your hand up Don't put it down. OK，学生们 ，OK，学生们，我们可以continue 吗？OK，can we continue? Those who have not logged in, you all can try later. Is that okay? So if you have any feedback or anything, you can put in our WhatsApp group. All right. We will start with the first question, which I'll demo to you all. Okay, how to do it from scratch. All right. Hold on now. Okay, so first thing, right, you all will create a folder, okay? I will create a folder. Okay, let me just call this folder, okay, give it a name, STEM CPP, okay? So this will be for my CPP answer, C++ program. So once I've created a folder, all right, I will just double click on the folder. So I can just click here, okay, to copy the entire path. Okay, copy the entire path. All right. And then I'll open my command prompt. Okay, I'll open the command prompt. So in your command prompt, you do a cd to change the directory. Yeah, to change the directory. Paste in the directory. Now it's better that you enclose the path inside a double quote in case you have spaces in between. Like mine, I don't have space, also doesn't matter. I just put them in double quote. All right, and then you can press enter. Now you see the path, my path, I'm currently in C drive. My path also in C drive. You see my path, my destination path is also in C drive. So when I do a CD, of course, it will come to here. But sometimes your destination path is not the same as your current, the drive letter of your destination path is not the same as your current drive. Maybe your destination path is in F drive, for example. Then if you do a CD, you have to do after you do a CD to your destination path, you must type F colon. Okay, if let's say your destination path is in F drive. So if your current drive is C drive, but your destination path is in D drive, after you perform a CD, you must do a D colon. Okay. So you do a D colon and press enter press enter. But since my destination path, the drive is C, same like my current path, the drive is C. After I do a CD straight away, I go into the destination path already, as you can see from here. Then I just do a code space dot. This to tell Visual Studio Code to open this this folder in Visual Studio Code. Okay. So you can see my Visual Studio Code. has now opened the folder ham CPP, all right, in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, there's no file inside for the time. Okay, now you can click the add, and then put in your file name, Fibonacci.cpp. So I'm creating a CPP file. Okay, Fibonacci.cpp. Okay. So let me start writing the program. No, sorry, I should show you all, not Fibonacci. This one is you all should do yourself. Okay, sorry about that. I should show you all the first question. Let me see, first question is what? Question 1 is to find the largest element. Okay, so first of all, we go to here, look at the problem set, then look at your question. Okay, find max. Okay, so you click on the problem text to read through the questions. Yeah, so it says largest element. Given a list of numbers, a common question is which number is the largest in the list. So write a program to input 3 real numbers in the range of minus 1000 to 1000 and output the largest number among the 3. So you can see here, this is the test case, sample test case. We only have 3 here. So after you have written your program, you can check with these 3 test cases to make sure that the output is the same with when you enter the following input. Of course, at the server there, we have entered more than these 3 test cases. We have entered more than that. So that this is to prevent you all from hard coding. Hard coding meaning that you all just do a C in and then you just simply do a C out like that. Okay. So you cannot just do a C out because we have other test cases to check your program. It's not just limited to these 3. But at the back end there, at the server, we have more than these 3 test cases to check a program. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to do the question for find max. So you look at the question, just now the question, this find max, is it? So I will give the same name now, find max. I'll call it find max as well. So I create the prompt, I say find max.cpp. Okay, find max.cpp. Include the library files that you need to use, for example, IOString. All right. Then in C++, you have to use using namespace std, so that you don't have to always type in std in your program. This will save your typing a little bit. Declare all your necessary variables. So for real numbers, we use a double. Okay, we use the data type as double. After you declare, you should always initialize your variables with some value. So we initialize them to be 0. And then, sorry. Okay. And then we want to ask the user to input the 3 numbers. So A, B, C. Okay. All right. And then we are going to check for the largest. So we use the if condition. So if A is larger than B, okay, and A greater than C. Okay, you do a C out. A. Format indent your program nicely so it's easy to read. So what you can do is you can just do a right click and then format document. Okay, to indent it nicely. Okay, so after you've done that, you can right click. You right click and then just run code to test in your Visual Studio Code first before you submit your answer to the system competition system. So now we can check here. So when you do a testing, of course, you test with the test cases given to you. So for 5 max, you look at your test cases. Okay, so you check with all these 3 test cases. So the first one is five, 3, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Okay, and you can see your output is this one. So you see everything is the same, right? As to how it is being formatted. So your input, so the 3 input that you enter, okay, and then the output. So you test again. Okay, with the next test case, 9 minus 57, 90.25, and you can see the output. Okay, it's a 90.25 match. Okay, and the third test case, minus 43.11, minus 80.77, minus 50.32. Answer minus 43.11 match. So at least, so now you know that you pass all these 3 test cases and you are satisfied with your program, you can submit your answer to the system. You can then submit your answer to the system. So you go back to the competition portal, go back to your competition portal, to your main page here, and you can see the submit button, click the submit button and browse to your source file. Okay, browse to your source file. Okay, so in your source file, this one you put it in this folder here. You just need to, you should only upload the CPP file, CPP file, okay, 5 max CPP. Let's say you upload the wrong one. Okay, now let me just upload this wrong one, okay, without anything inside. Okay, there's nothing inside. All right, see what you see. If your file name, like I said, your file name is the same as the problem, you will automatically select for you the correct one. Okay, option, and also your language. Then you click the submit button. This is this one. Then click OK. So you can see over here, your solution pending here. Okay, so this is what you have uploaded is pending. What you can do now is you can just click on just refresh it. Okay, just refresh it, and you can see here there's a compiler error. All right, for this, because just now you see I have not entered anything, it's blank. So what you do is you can click on this result to open and see the message. Why is it why is it failed in the compilation? So compiling failed with this error code. Okay. So now you may want to make a clarification request for clarification. So to the jury, okay. So technical issues, okay, or for this one, it is the Fibonacci message why cannot compile. Okay, then you click send. So send the clarification to the jury. So you can see you have sent a message. Now what the jury can do is the jury will be able to see your message, okay, your clarification message. So the jury will be able to see your clarification message. Okay, so then you can see here the jury will see this message here. Why cannot compile? Yeah, there's another student, okay, that has this error, why error, okay. So the jury can then click claim to claim the question to answer it. So now the jury will reply to your question, why cannot compile. So I also don't know why. Okay, then click send. So after the jury has sent the clarification to the user, then you are able to see the reply from the jury. I also cannot compile. Just now I noticed that there's another student that has made a clarification. Okay, I will claim it. All right, and I will reply. Try again. Okay. Then, yeah. So this student, MN63 P135. Can you check whether you have received my clarification message? Whether you can successfully receive it? All right, so that's how I submit. Now I'm going to show you submitting the correct answer for the first question. So I select my source file. So that is the fimax.cpp. So you can see, okay, you can see that it automatically will select for me the correct problem because the file name I use back the file name that is the same as the one in the problem. So, but of course, if it doesn't select for you correctly, you can always click this button and choose the correct one from here. You don't choose the wrong one. All right. If your file name, you give it some other file name, like for example, abc.cpp or xyz.cpp or some other things, some other names different from the problems stated in the problem question, then you have to choose this problem yourself. Okay, choose it yourself. Then the language, okay, is a C++, so make sure that it's C++ and click submit. So once submitted, okay, you can go to here, click the refresh to check the status. Okay, it's still pending. Check again. Okay, correct. So you can see here, compilation is correct, and you will obtain your marks for this question. So the fimax question, okay, fimax question is 10 points. So now you have obtained 10 points for this question here for the correct answer. Is that okay, class? Any questions? So I've demoed to you the first question. Please proceed with your question 2. There's Fibonacci, and question 4 to try out. So question 2, Fibonacci, and question 4, average. Before that, let me show you just now, like I said, what happens if you have additional thing. Okay, so let's say you have additional C out. Let's say you do a C out. Okay, C out. It said please enter a number. Okay, what will happen if you do this? All right. So as you can see, okay, as you can see in the test cases given to you, we actually have what is the test cases for the Pimax. The test cases, as you can see here, the output, there's no such thing, right? As you say, please enter a number. There's no such thing in your test cases in the output. But then you go and put in additional C. You go and put in a C out here that says, please enter the output. Yeah, of course, your program can run here. Your program can run in your Visual Studio Code. But if you submit, okay, so you try, okay, let's say you try 1, 2, 3, okay, 6, okay, right? Of course, your program can run, but then you have this additional output here already, additional thing. So if you try to submit this as your answer, it will fail, it will fail. So let me go to submit, all right, choose the file, so find max.cpp, all right, so I click submit. So you can see I submitted the answer, refresh it. So you can see here, it fails, wrong answer, right? Wrong answer. Okay, because it didn't pass the test cases, all right? So you have to be careful. That's why we mentioned to you all, you have to look at the test cases. So don't go and put additional C out. So just display whatever output that is required. Okay. Any questions? Do you have any questions for this one? This example? Why is it I don't have to click file save? It's because you see here for my Visual Studio Code, I put in auto save, so you can auto save. Like just now, another student, you mentioned whether you can include what? bit/std cpp, is it? Library, C++ library. Okay, so you can try to put this in and then try to submit the program and see whether it can what's the response given to you. Okay, you can test that out. Okay, so I asked you all to try out the question on Fibonacci, right? Fibonacci. Yeah, I'll show you another one using Java. Okay, for question 1, I'll show one example with Java. So you create your folder. Okay, I call it temp Java. Copy, okay, and go to your command prompt. Okay, do a cd, change the directory. To change the directory, Then after do a code space dot to open in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, so once you're inside the Visual Studio Code, you can see your temp Java folder is empty. Then you click on this button here. All right, so it's a FileMax dot Java. Okay, so FileMax.java. So now we will write the program for FileMax.java. Okay, so import java.util scanner. Import java.text decimal format. Import java.language.net. Okay. Then create your class. Call it FileMax. So once you have done it, once you have completed, you can try to run the program. Okay, so let's say we follow the test cases. That are your test cases. Okay, so you can try with this test case, the first test case. One, 3, 2, 6, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 2. So you can see the output here is 6, 2, 3. So 6, 2, 3 matches. Okay. Try again with the second test case. 9 minus 57, 90.25. Okay, so 90.25, the result match. Okay, try the third test case. Minus 43.11, minus 50.77, minus 50.32. So you can see here, match. Okay, so match all the 3 test cases here, and we are satisfied with our program. Try to submit the program. Okay, so now let me submit the program to the system. So go to submit. Okay, go to submit. Select the files that you would like to submit. That is from temp Java. So submit the .java file, the file with the extension .java. Okay, imax.java. Right, so you can see because your file name you use the same, it automatically give you the problem. And the language is now Java. Click the submit button to submit it. So then here pending, refresh your page and wait for the results and see. Okay, so correct. Yeah. Now let me show to you. Just now we format it. What happens if you don't use the so what if you don't use this decimal format to format our result? Say for example over here. All right. Let's say we don't do this. Okay, and we just do the normal one with a system.out.println in sys_a. Okay, without a df dot format. You see, this is so in Java it's a bit different from the CPP, because if you do a print line like that, you see what is the output, right? You can see. Let's see what is the output. Let me open up the test case again. Okay, for example, I use the first test case. Follow the first test case, 532, 623, and 432. No, the first test case is not. It's not. what I've done is over here, for the A, maximum is the A one. A is the max. So I should use the, okay, I should try another one. Let's say 900. Okay, let's say I try this. Of course, you can see just now this was no problem. Okay, 900. Okay, the next one is 4, 5, 6, and then another one 1, 2, 3. You can see the output result. The output result is 900.0. Can you see that? 900.0. Okay. So you can see our test case by right. If it is a round number point, don't have a decimal point, it should not show the decimal point. But then if you in Java, if you don't use the decimal format, your output, if it is a round number, what you get is it give you 900.0. Because of this, right, the 0.0 here, it will fail the test case. It will fail your test case. So now, okay, if I try to submit, let me try to submit the answer and show to you. So fimax.java, okay, submit, submitted, right? Refresh it. Okay, this one's correct. Okay, I have to use because this the test case. Wait, hold on. Let me check again. Test cases for the test cases. So yeah, you have to be careful. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have to check the, if let's say in the system, right, you have to follow, right? So if you have like that, then you should not, you should not, you know that you should not have like that. Okay, you have to use the decimal format to format it. All right. So you shouldn't do this, and therefore you should apply the decimal format. Are you okay? If you all have any questions, you all can put in the chat, inside the chat. Then you'll try to respond to your question. Okay, from this student, Dean, you can try to submit your answer to the system and then let the system try to check it. And any other questions? Why am I having run error with the exact same code? But low Tuan He. Have you put in the? Can you put in? How can you show? Can you show us your answer? How is it? So like I said, you should not have additional formatting. Do you have additional formatting? And are you doing a C++ or are you doing a Java program? Okay, I will also demo to you the rest, the answer for question 2 and question 4. Okay. Let me show to your demo to your the remaining of the answers for the remaining questions. Okay, now you can see here, I'm using a different file name from the question. So I just call it q1.cpp, q2.cpp, q3.cpp, and so on. All right, so, okay, now look at the example for q2.cpp. So for the Q2, question 2, that is your Fibonacci questions, okay, your Fibonacci, find the Fibonacci, right? Now in CPP, you have, like just now what explained by Ms. Lai, right? You need to include the IO manic. Well, why is it meaning IO manic? That is to set the precision. Okay, we set the precision to 0. If you are, so there is no decimal place. When you set the precision, you also must have the fixed. Okay, must make it fixed. So without any decimal place, right? Precision 0. So 0 decimal places. Can test the program. Okay, let's say 5. Okay, so Fibonacci of 3, you get 2, right? You get 2. Okay. So I'm running question 2. So Fibonacci of 4, you get 3. Fibonacci of 5, you get 5. Fibonacci of 6, okay, you get 8. Okay, and so on. All right. So Fibonacci of 50, you get this output here. Okay. So you can then submit your answers. Okay, submit your answers. So this is your Fibonacci. So the Fibonacci is how you calculate the Fibonacci is you see. So you have let's say F0 Fibonacci 0, that will be 0. Okay. If you say Fibonacci 1, that is 1. Fibonacci 2 will be equal to Fibonacci 0 plus Fibonacci 1. Okay. So that will give you 0 plus 1. 1. Okay. Fibonacci 3, that will give you Fibonacci 2 plus Fibonacci 1. Okay, that is equal to 1 plus 1, that is 2, and so on. That's how you calculate your Fibonacci, right? And that's how you come to this this for loop here. Okay, to calculate for your Fibonacci value using a for loop. So we will submit this to the platform, competition platform. So submit. That is question 2. CPP. Okay, so you can see if your file name is different, right? You have to select what is the problem. So this is a Fibonacci problem. You have to select Fibonacci and click submit. Okay, then you can refresh it. Okay, correct answer. Yeah, some of you may come up with a different solution to the Fibonacci question. All right. So just now what we have used is the for loop. Okay, let me show to you another one. Here we use recursion. All right, recursion. Yeah, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't put in the answers. I didn't. I didn't. I think I didn't put it in. Never mind. Okay, question 3. So you can do it differently. Okay, like the GCD. Question 4. Question 4 answers. So for question 4, just now the question 4, you are asked to do what? Question 4. Question 4 is the find average, find mean. Okay, the find mean. So given a list of numbers, a common question, okay, is what is the average of these numbers? So write a program to input a series of positive integers. So the first entry n denotes the number of elements in the list. The 2 is less than equal to n, less than equal to 10. Subsequently, the next n entries are the elements in the list. So the output the average of these n numbers. So you can see here, the first input here represent n, the number of elements you have in the list. So it's 2 elements. So you have 2 elements. The average is for these 2 elements, the average is 150. If you have the first number n represent n, it's 5. That means you have 5 elements in the list. So you have 5 elements. And you calculate the average for these 5 elements, the answer is 496.8. If you have 10 elements in the list, calculate the average of the 10 elements, the answer is 5.5. Okay, so to do that in C++, okay, to do that in C++, you get an input that represents n, right? So you look for all the n elements, sum them to get the total, and then calculate the average and display the result. So we follow trial with the test case. Okay, first of all, we'll check our answer against the test cases. So 2, hold on, 2 compile again. Sorry. Okay, so try with the test cases. So 2, 100, 200. So the result is 150, so correct. Okay, let's do the next test case. This one. So we have 5, 432, 543, 654, 312, 543. And the result is 496.8. Okay, and the next one, 10, and then 1 into 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so the result is 5.5, so correct. Okay, then we will we'll submit this answer to the system. So Q4.cpp. So you can see here the file name is not the same as our solution, the name given to our solution. We have to select the problem ourselves. So select the problem. This is for find mean. Okay, so the language is CPP. Click the submit button. Okay, once submitted, your answer is here. Pending result. Refresh it, and you can see correct. Okay. The next one. If you are doing it in Java, so let us look at the Java version. So this is the Java version. Okay. For question 2, find mean. No, question 2 is Fibonacci. Okay, for the Fibonacci question. Now for Java, you have to use the big decimal. All right, because your number can be very big, very huge, right? We apply this big decimal library. So your Fibonacci. The algorithm is the same. Okay, we use the follow here to calculate the Fibonacci number and then output the result. And finally, we close the scanner object. So we declare the variable total to be a big decimal, okay, because the result can be very large. Test out your program. So you right click and run code. Okay. So refer to the test case. Okay, refer to the test case. Fibonacci. So the test case is 10. So you get the answers 55. Okay. The next one is 20. We try 20. And you can see the result 6765. So 6765. Okay. And try the next one 50. So this is the output. Okay. So all the 3 test cases here is satisfied all the 3 test cases here. And now let us submit the answer to the portal. So submit the .java file. Okay. So you can see the file name is the same as your problem question. Then you automatically select for you the correct one. Okay, so pending, refresh it. Okay, correct. The next one, question 4. Question 4 is the find the average. So find average. Find mean. Okay, find mean. All right, find mean. Run the code. Okay, so look at your problem set and check the test cases. So find mean. Test cases 2, 100, 200. 2, 100, 200. And you get the result 150. Yeah. Try again with the next test case. So 5. And the answer is 496.8. So 496.8, your answer. Okay. And finally, the third test case, the 10 numbers altogether. And the answer is 5.5. Okay, it's 5.5, correct. Satisfied with your answer, then submit to the portal. So submit your answer to the portal.
Right.
So the find mean.java. Submit. So pending, then you refresh it. Okay, correct. So that's how you will do. Any questions on the system or on the programming part? You all try to submit your answer and then to the system and then see the result that you all get. So this one, right? It says my output is correct. Why does so we have to look at this thing, your output. What output is it? You see, now you have an additional C out, enter a number. You look at the test case. Well, what question is this? Yeah. So you cannot have this additional C out. Okay, so because you have this additional C out, then your answer is wrong. Or this question here, why does it show no error but my answer is still wrong? Who is this? VQ31. VQ31. Where's your VQ31? Okay, I'll pass the mic to Dr. Tan. Okay, she want to say something. Thank you.
Okay. So just now there are some students unable to log in, right? And then it just keep pending. So we realized that there are actually two. So one is probably some of you are too kanchiong. So you have actually key in others people login username accidentally. Then that makes the real people that needs to use that username unable to log in. And another thing is you all are logging with the wrong username. Okay, so on the real competition day, please make sure that you log in with your own password and also the username. And make sure, because there are actually 3 person in the groups, right? Okay, make sure you have divided yourself properly, that you are in your own respective coder. Okay? 就是说有3个 member 对吗？你们 make sure 你们的 password， 因为在当天的时候你们会 share 同一个 password 跟同一个 username， 所以你们必须要确定，就是说谁去 coder 1， 谁去 coder 2， 然后谁去 coder 3。所以就是说，如果同一组的人有2个人去了同一个 coder， 那就其中一个人他没有办法 log in 的，所以你必须要清楚你的 username、你的 password。然后你是哪一个 code OK， 这个是第一点。然后第二个呢，就是有很多同学说他们拿不到对的答案，那我们就看了一下，就发现到说有学生他那个就是在给人家 see in 的时候，他就 see out 了说 please enter 什么什么 enter 这个所以其实这个东西呢是不需要的，这就算是一个多余的东西。就是那个provide 给你的那个 input， 你只需要拿到那个 input， 然后 see out 也是一样，就是你需要拿到那个正确的 see out， 明白吗？这个 We can't know our teammates' progress for the system. Well, this one you have to communicate among your members. In this case, so you have to keep updating with your team members to know what is their progress, and try to how to say, coordinate among your team members. Yes, the system may not indicate that. But anyway, okay, the system will open for until tomorrow for you all to try out. And we'll see. Okay, maybe after tomorrow, the system will be closed down. All right, but if you have any feedbacks, you can always feedback to the WhatsApp groups, and we will take note on that. So any questions for now? If you don't have any questions, then we'll pass back the floor to the MC. So no questions from the students? 没有问题了吗？好，如果没有问题的话，那我就把这个MC 那个 Could you demonstrate questions 5 with .cpp? So Mr. Sun, do you mind?
Yeah, okay. I will show the Q5 again. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, your question 5. So we include two libraries, CMap and IOManip. IOManip for us to fix the precision point. So to 2 decimal places. So you need to include the fix and the separation too. Declare all your necessary variables. Now we want to check whether is it a real, there is a solution or there's no solution. No real solution. You check this one. If your b square minus 4ac is less than 0, you're not able to find the square root of it later on. Okay, that will give you a complex number. So you actually so then in that case we'll say there is no real solution. It's a complex number. Okay, but otherwise, if your b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, that means the you only get a single solution on it. Okay, there's only one answer. All right. In that case, so this will be the equation minus negative b plus the square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that is your answer. All right. But if your b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, okay, then you have two answers to that. Because you can see here, the equation is negative b plus minus a square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So the first answer will be plus and the second one will be the minus. Okay, because according to the question, we need to display the answer that is larger one, followed by the smaller answer. So that's why we display the answer with the larger one, which is a answer from the variable 1, ans1, and the second answer from the variable ans2. ans2 will have a smaller answer because this is a minus. Negative b minus away the square root of the b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So to use a POW for the power, that means here we do a power 2, okay, so b square, right? Or if you want to do a square root SQRT, these two functions, the power functions and the square root functions, they come from your CMap library, so you have to include the CMap. Okay. Just one thing, please make sure that your answer here, when you do a C out, let's say this is a no real solution, you check the test cases. Okay, you look at your test cases, make sure that is correct. So your test case, so that is your quadratic equation. Okay, so you can see here this no real solution. Please make sure that you use back the same one, no real solution. Yeah. For example, if you actually put with an S behind no real solutions, in this case here, of course, when you run your program here, you can still run and get the answers, the correct answers. But when you submit this to the competition platform, it doesn't pass the test case. If let's say yours is a no real solution, it will, and when you output this result, right? This result here will fail the test case because you see here you have an S. Yeah, the one the test case there inside the test case there's without the S. Okay, so let us try to upload this to the platform and see. So Q5. All right. So this is the quadratic equation, C++, submit. Okay, submitted, pending. So you can see here, wrong answer. Yeah, wrong answer. Because you failed the test case. Yeah, you fail your test case. So perhaps you see here, maybe you can do a good guess, and you see here compilation is successful, compilation output, there's no error or warnings. So this could probably due to your test cases. Yeah, you fail the test case. Anything else? Is that okay? So be very careful with the test cases. Okay, look at the questions and the test cases. Yeah, look at your output, because yeah, it must match the output. So let's correct the problem. This is now, yeah, it's caused by this additional s that you have put here. We remove away this additional s, okay, and we submit the answer again to the system. Okay, so now you can see correct answer. Is that okay? So you see, if you do something like that, you have this type of checking, you this type of output again, it will not pass because you have additional output. Okay. Even though the answer is correct, but because you put in this additional output here, it will not pass your test case because this will give out this output. Okay, you will emit this output. Okay, so Fibonacci 100. Fibonacci questions that is in the Q2. So this is your Fibonacci 100. Okay, class, we will just use the normal test cases. Okay, we just use the normal test cases. We won't test with some extreme numbers that is too large. Like just now, you mentioned about the Fibonacci 100, right? So we won't test with too large of the number. It's just some normal test cases. Is that okay? Because there is the memory for C++, the data type. Okay, the data type of the C++. And you get this memory out of bound. So you need to have some special library to solve the problem. Well, anyway, we'll just test with some normal test cases.
So is there any questions from the students or the participants or anyone?
Yeah, anyway, yeah, in the question is also stated that the Fibonacci, right, from ranging from 2 to 50.
这是因为我们之前在设那个题目的时候，我们本来是放100，可是发现100那个数字太大了，其实是没有太大的必要了，所以后来我们在那个范例我们更动了，就改成到50。你可以看回，就是你可以在那个 platform 那边下载那个试题样本，那个试题样本应该是已经 update 过的，应该是 n 应该是从2到50。之前那个 slides 可能它有一些就是还不是最新的版本，最新的版本最好就是你从那个网上直接 download 下来。第5题，是的，就是假如是题目有要求你要保留小数后的2位的话，即使是0，你也要放在那边。就比如说答案可能是5，但是你要写5.00才可以。假如有要求的话，要看题目有没有要求。题目没有要求的话，你不需要多做任何的步骤。但是假如题目有要求的话，你一定要严格根据题目的要求。你不需要等到那个 report， 你可以继续做其他的题目，然后之后再来看一看到底做对还是不对。就是你可以同时做很多，然后接着一个一个 submit 都可以。就是你可以就是任何的那个次序，或者是任何哪一个人先做哪一题都没有关系。所以你们队员之间要很好的协调，不要说就是尽量不要2个人同做一个题目，然后一直 submit， 说不定一个人对了，可是另外一个人还是再做回那个已经答对的题目，那就浪费。所以你们3个人的协调很重要，所以你们必须要协调谁做哪一个题目。要是错的话，可以让另外一个人尝试，但是不要对了之后你还在尝试，那就没有什么意义了。Crane 会有什么歧义吗？我是觉得应该不会吧。近似之小数点后2位，你是觉得会有怎样的误会吗？ 假如你觉得这会有误会的话，你可以提出来，然后我们可以看看是不是真的误会，那我们可能在真正那个试题那边呢可以改进。
不好意思，就是我尝试这一题的时候，有出现就是需要整数后面补0才可以过关。
对。
然后根据这个题目，他说若有小数点近似至小数点后2位，所以他的意思是应该，所以整数不算有小数点，应该不需要补0。但就是有遇到这样子的问题，所以刚才尝试很多次。
明白。OK， 那我们会改进这个东西，就是我们会说，就是小数点后2位一定要，即使是整数小数点后2位也一定要显示出来。OK， 这个我们在那个正式考那个题目里面会改进这个。谢谢你的那个回馈。OK。code 和队友是一样是可以的，你 code 跟队友是没有问题，但是你不能够跟其他队一样。就是我们会检查的时候是检查你们的 code 还有跟其他的 code 来比较，你们跟队友之间的那个 code， 假如是同样的题目，你们交了2次都答对的话，即使那2个是一模一样都没有关系，因为都是同样的队员，没有关系，但是不能够跟别人一样。还有什么问题吗？2组的 algorithm 有可能是差不多的，是有可能的。可是整个编排或者秩序，我们会有一些方法去检查啦。当然，比如说，假如是很简单的一个 formula， 只是一行，那一行也说不上是抄还是不抄。但是当你有很多行的时候，其实还是可以看得出来的。当然我们会尽量小心啦，当然我们会尽量小心。请问还有什么问题吗？方面那个测验说你的解决方案是错的，它有可能是一些格式上你出来的答案的格式跟我们题目的要求不一样。不需要一个队员做对了一题之后，其他队员是不需要再提交的。你们不管提交多少次，假如都对的话，那只算一次的分数，不会重复算分数。所以你们3个队员要协调合作就是这样。比如说大家协调好，你做1、2、3、4、5，我做5、6、7、8、9，然后另外一个做10、11、12、13、14、15，就是你们之间要协调好。所以你们可以讨论，但是你们不能跟其他队员或者跟老师讨论。题目就是要求你看那个 input 跟 output， 那个就是我们的要求。我们需要看你的 code 才有办法知道。我们现在没有办法，就是凭着你的叙述，然后回答你的问题，所以可能需要看你的 code 到底是出了什么问题。其实或者是你可以告诉我你可以告诉我们你的那个名字，或者是你可以把那个 code send 给我们。当天总共会有15题，15题它的分数会有10分、15分跟20分的分数，就是的题目不同的题目。Dr. Dan，你可以帮我看一下那个 Vince 提出来他的那个 code，
有他的那个 output 错了，他的 output 太长，我已经 check 了。
OK。队友的答案可以一样，当然可以一样，可是还是一样。队友的答案即使是一样的话，你们只是得了1分，你们不需要3个人都答一样的问题。你们3个人答，比如说一个人答1、2、3、4、5，另外一个答6、7、8、9、10，另外答11、12、13、15。要是你们个别答的题目都对的话，那你们15题的分数都可以得到。队友的题目即使是一样的话，只是算1次分数，我们只算答对那一题。比如说你们3个人都去答第1题，3个人都答对了，但是你们也只得比如说10分。不需要，每个人不需要，因为你们都是在你们 log in 的时候呢是在一个 team， 所以你们用那个 team 那个去 team 就是你们是一个组别，你们是用组别的方式去 log in。所以不管是 coder 1、coder 2、coder 3，你们成交的话都算属于那个组别。所以为什么？其实这个是一个团队精神。其实我们不要个别每一个人做了之后，假如每个人做的话，我们只是在考个别的那个编程的能力。但是当你是一个团队的时候，你们就有协调，你们就有很多策略性。比如说谁做那一题，比如说你对1、2、3题很有把握，你说哎，你们1、2、3让我来做，你们先去解决其他的题目，它就会有一些策略性，就是你们整个组别要有怎样的策略。所以不是每个人需要交完15题，而是每一题。预赛要是有同样分数的话，我们会有那个时间，你交上最后一题答对的那个题目的时间为你所用的时间，越少的越好。就比如说你答了之后，你们整个组别答了之后得了总共150分，另外一个组别也答了，也是得到150分。但是呢，你成交最后一题答对的题目的时间呢是55分钟，另外一个成交最后一题答对的题目是58分钟。那55分钟这个是比58分钟比较高排名。越多先越多越好，然后越快越好。先要答得对，之后是要答得快。我们在决赛的时候也是一样的，你答对的越多，你排名就越高。只有在同等分数的时候呢，我们才看时间。还有什么问题吗？请问？我相信经过这一次那个工作坊，大家应该对整个系统以及题目都有相当的了解。但是当然你们随时有问题，还是可以在那个 WhatsApp group 里面再问。预赛的时候题目可以加上题目号码，方便讨论吗？你是说我们1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10一直到15题是吗？我们可以再注明它是第1、第2、第3题了啊。这个应该可以注明的，就是那个题目那边应该是可以注明。还有什么问题吗？再重复一次，团队精神很重要啊！这个比赛不是说你一个人，当然你一个人可能可以答完15题啦。你一个人可以答完15题的话，那你的队友其实也不需要做些什么事情。但是我们会相信说，没有人可以在1个小时之内答完15题啦。 OK，请问还有什么问题吗？没有问题的话，我就把时间交回给文斌，好吗？谢谢大家，谢谢大家。
各位同学还有其他问题吗？哦，主持人呢？刚好不在哈。我是筹会的主席哈。那如果大家没有问题的话，这个题目的网站的系统哦，刚才 Dr. Dan 有提到，就是说会开放到明天，各位同学可以把握机会来加以练习啦。然后我们的那个 WhatsApp 群组哈，也可以一直在开放的，所有问题都可以在上面提出来，然后我们的团队都可以在上面提供答案，然后大家都可以看得到。OK， 那当中呢有一些重要的讯息哦，我们在一直到9月13号的那个预赛之前呢，都会在 WhatsApp 群组公布。那预赛呢是在9月13号哦，早上9点开始啊。那9点开始，我们会有一些重点的一个注意事项的说明。那也必须要在9点半之前来试着log in 到我们的那个网站去。那有几点要注意的是，当天除了一台电脑作为这个 Internet 的速度必须要在4 Mbps 以上嘛因为我们同时要准备一台电脑来做 coding upload 这个程式。那另外呢我们也要建议用一台手机或者是一个平板作为login 那个 Zoom 作为一个我们监赛用的那个工具。那至于细则呢，我们会在那个 WhatsApp 的群组内公布了还有一点呢，也要注意的是，就是在预赛的当天你们也要准备你们的学生证跟那个IC， 我们需要做一个拍照验证那个身份的一个程序到时也是用那个 Zoom， 我们工作人员会在上面拍照，证明是你这个本人在参与这个比赛。好，我这边的一个补充就到这边。那如果没有什么问题，今天我们的这个工作坊就到此结束。那谢谢南曼大学的老师们，那谢谢各位老师，谢谢各位同学的今天的参与，谢谢。
谢谢老师，谢谢大家，再见。
谢谢。